Guys, it's finally here. The one you've been all waiting for. The new Tesla Model Y is open for orders in Australia. And I'm going to take you guys through the order process. We're not going to order one, not yet anyway, but I'm going to walk you through all the features, everything that we know so far, and I'll show you how easy it is to order if you guys are going to order one. So what you can see on the screen is essentially the order page for the new Tesla Model Y. So let's jump straight into it. All right, so over here, new Model Y, click order now. And then it brings you to the main page where you just confirm your location. Now, for the purposes of this demonstration, we're going to go through in New South Wales, which is the state that I'm in, and we're going to look at personal registration. So over here, you'll see the banner, view inventory. You can actually buy the existing or outgoing or run out Model Y for a discount. So click on that if you want to get that. Otherwise, we are here to look at the launch series Model Y. And so first things first, to address the main thing that everyone's talking about is the price increase. So you need to bear in mind that the one that we're getting here in Australia is the launch series, and we'll cover that in a bit more details. But essentially the launch series is a special series. You'll see over here, limited release, all new interior, complete with premium options and customizable upgrades. That's not referring to just the specific launch series. However, being a launch series, there are obviously some added bonuses that you get as a part of the car, which is why you're obviously going to be paying a little bit more for the car. So maybe let's start off with that. So let's actually look at the launch series. So we click on explore features. It brings up another screen where it talks you through what's new with the Model Y along with what's in the launch series. So let's start with what launch series gets you. So if you scroll down over here, you'll see you get a rear liftgate badge, which is essentially a badge on the boot. You'll get a puddle light badge, which is this one here, which is essentially sort of like a projector light for the same logo. You then get a door seal plate word mark, which is over here. So door seals as soon as you open the doors. Then you've got charging console word mark, which is this section over here. And then you've got vegan suede for black interior. Now it doesn't mention anything about the white interior, so I'd presume that the white interior is still exactly the same as you would in the non-launch series version. Now, scrolling further down, you can also see over here that exclusive launch series badging on rear liftgate, puddle light, door seal, plate, and more. That's basically all of the things that we've gone through. And it also states here that the all-wheel drive comes with acceleration boost. So what you need to bear in mind when we start to talk through the pricing is, in the current run-out model, the acceleration boost from memory was about a $4,000 upgrade, which makes the car about 0.7 to 1 second faster as well. And so they're saying that as a part of this launch series, this is already included. But anyway, that covers everything to do with what the launch series is. And at some point in time, I would presume that the launch series will go away or will no longer be available. And then the price potentially will be reduced or held stable without further increases, so that we could have the normal non-launch series versions, which potentially gives you other options or these as options, so you don't need to get all of it included. Anyway, let's look at what else is new with the Model Y. So over here, based on these couple of pictures over here, you can see that you've got a totally new redesigned front bar, rear bar. So front and rear light bars redesigned to increase aerodynamics, efficiency, and range. So that's the front you see over here, which looks really like their Cybercab. And then you've got the rear light bar that stretches across over there. Then scrolling further down, you can see here they're saying enter your Starship, refined interior with wraparound interior lighting, soft touch finishes, and a 15.4-inch touchscreen and ventilated seats. Fantastic. This is the number one thing that I think will be a game changer in the Model Y, the seats, because the current ones absolutely horrible. And then for the ones that aren't too familiar, you are actually stepping up in screen size. So the existing Model Y does have a 15-inch touchscreen. This one is now going to be 15.4. So every little bit counts, and that 0.4 is going to be diagonal. So it is actually going to be a little bit bigger than what 0.4 actually is across. But what do you think of these seats? I think they look amazing. So much better, and they are ventilated as well. So really good to see. Now, moving further down, you'll see here you do also get power reclined second row seats that fold flat, an 8-inch touchscreen, and Bluetooth enabled. So I think these ones are already existing in the Model 3, but again, it's good to see power recline second row seats, fantastic, because that just allows that every little bit of movement to ensure that you can get into that really good position, because sometimes on the current Model Y, you've got a couple of click settings. Sometimes you just want something in between. It's just not as perfect. So being able to have power recline second rows, I think that'd be icing on the cake. So I think it's a great welcoming bonus. Following that, they're saying here, improved connectivity, offering more range for phone key, clearer calls, faster cellular and Wi-Fi connectivity. No specific details on that, but I guess it's good to see that they are improving connectivity to the vehicle itself. This one is a really big one. They're saying that they now have retuned suspension, which offers smooth handling, added comfort, more responsive steering, and a quieter ride. Now, I don't feel like the current ride is actually too loud in terms of this quieter ride. Added responsiveness is fantastic, because I do feel at times when you steer, it's not as sharp as it could be, so more response is great. And then the added comfort. I know that's the number one concern for a lot of people with the existing Model Ys or the earlier adopters, because they had really, really stiff suspension. And so this is really welcoming change for people that use this as a everyday car. All right, and then they're saying over here, invisible speakers create a minimalist aesthetic and deliver maximum audio performance. Now, the one thing that I think strikes me odd, or that caught my attention, was it says here, long-range all-wheel drive image shown. So I guess my question would be, what's the difference between this and the rear-wheel drive? We don't have any confirmation yet. There's no spec sheet, so we actually don't know. But because they've mentioned that specifically, that is a long-range all-wheel drive image, it does make you wonder, what is it in the rear-wheel drive that you don't potentially get that's different to this? Anyway, that's all we know. And then the last point here is acoustic glass, which keeps road noise out and your music in. So that's pretty much all we know so far based on what they've shown here, but there's two more things that I wanted to bring to your attention, and I might actually skip to that by looking over here. So back on this image over here, down the bottom, I don't know if you can really see that here, but there have been some images floating on the internet. This image down here, there's actually a front camera now. So whether or not you'll be able to use it in terms of parking, that's another question, but they definitely do have a camera down here. So I don't have it here in front of me readily available, but plenty of pictures on the internet, you'll definitely see a front camera there. The other thing as well is, if I switch to the interior photo, you'll see over here, the stalks are back. The stalks are back, or at least from a Model Y side of things, they're keeping the stalks for everyone. So that's great to see. So it doesn't look like that they've got stalk on the right-hand side. So that means that you'll still be shifting your gears through the touch panel over here, or potentially at the top above the car. But the stalks are back for the indicators. So the only question really is, are they still going to use the same steering wheel as the Model 3? And is that also an option to use the steering wheel as opposed to the stalks? And then the flip question, as a Model 3 Highland current owner, not me as a current owner, as in for you guys that do own the current Model 3, are they going to offer retrofits? Or what's going to happen for the future sales of the Model 3? Are they going to introduce them with stalks as well? Who knows? Anyways, I thought those two were key things that I feel is quite important, that they don't really call out specifically. So, yeah. Anyways, that covers enough of the photos and the key changes. Let's go through each of the specs and what else you get as a part of the launch series. So first of all, let's start with the rear-wheel drive. So you'll see here 466 kilometers WLTP. You can go up to 201 kilometers per hour, 0 to 105.9 seconds. In terms of pricing, $63,400 before on-road costs. And then drive away, including all of those costs, is roughly $68,770. And you'll see down the bottom here, when we talk about colors, there is actually no added costs as a part of the launch series. So all of the colors are actually all included, and this one here is the new color. So the color that they've actually removed is black. There's no longer black, as you can see here, but instead of the other blue, they've now changed it to this glacier blue. So keen to get you guys' thoughts on it. What do you guys think? Do you like it? Do you not like it? I mean, mixed minds at the moment. To me, that blue looks a little bit more dull than the previous blue, which looked a bit more vibrant, but it could just be the lighting for this photo. So time will have to tell. But either way, as a part of the launch series, it doesn't look like that there are any other additional costs if you were to, in terms of color, if you were to buy the car. Other than that, if we scroll down, you'll see 20-inch Helix 2.0 wheels, which is over here. And then you've got your interior color that is currently black, and you can switch to white for $1,500. Either way, they are still all 5-seaters, and you've only got those two choices. Scrolling further down, you've got FSD or full self-driving for $10,100, and you've got EAP or enhanced autopilot for $5,100, and you've already got basic autopilot as a part of that. Now, the fantastic thing about the website has been actually been revamped or redesigned. You can see now there's Explore Packages section over here. And so when you click Explore Packages, you'll see FSD capability here and EAP. So there are actually short videos that actually explains to you what you actually get with each of the added capabilities. Now, mind you, that's not totally available in Australia as yet, but this is what they're showing you is potentially going to be coming. So don't forget that at the end of the day, because it's not available in Australia, what this means for you is you are buying a promise. And so enhanced autopilot is probably the best that you get. The difference in Australia between enhanced autopilot and full self-driving for what you actually get today, realistically, is the fact that this car will stop at red lights. So it's got traffic light recognition as a part of FSD in Australia. Other than that, there is no difference between FSD and enhanced autopilot right now today in Australia. Having said that, as I said, those are the options. Coming down, you can then choose chargers for mobile charger or home charger, so they are now no longer available. And then scrolling further down, it just tells you your driveway price and due today. So realistically, if you just click order with card, you just enter your details, enter your credit card, address, due today is $400, which is non-refundable. You hit place order, Bob's your uncle, there you go, congratulations, you have ordered a new Tesla Model Y. That's literally it, guys. That's how simple it was. Now, we've spoken everything about the entry-level rear-wheel drive. Let's talk about the long range. So remember, the rear-wheel drive here was 68,770 driveway in New South Wales, privately registered, 63,400 before on-road costs. The long range is roughly $10,000 more before on-road costs, which means driveway price of $79,270. You'll see again that because of this launch series, there is no additional costs as a part of choosing any of those colors. And then scrolling further down, again, you still do have the 20-inch wheels. Now, to me, it seems a bit odd that in the long range and in the entry level that they've got 20-inch wheels. Why would they have gone up to make a heavier or a bigger wheel as standard between both variations? I would have thought that they would offer a 18 or a 19-inch, so it's lighter, and then have the option of the 20, similar to what they have done with the current or outgoing Model Y. Either way, it could also potentially be that these wheels are specific to the to this series, so to the launch series. So if it is potentially something just for the launch series, it potentially may mean that there are different wheels coming for the non-launch series once they close off these orders. Either way, it's all speculation at the moment, so it's only the 20-inch wheels that you get between the entry-level rear-wheel drive and also the long range. Other than that, if we continue scrolling down, you'll see 5-seat interior, white interior, again for that $1,500 difference. And then you've got the same packages and chargers as well. And so jumping back to the top, realistically, based on what we can see here, the only differences that we can see based on what has been advertised between the rear-wheel drive and the long-range all-wheel drive is the fact that if you're going long range, you potentially have a different battery. You do have definitely long range. You also do have all-wheel drive. So if all-wheel drive is an absolute must for you, or you just want to go faster, get the long range and be done with it. I still personally feel like similar to the Model Y now, the outgoing one, the rear-wheel drive probably will most likely be the most popular one, even though they've had an increase in the price. And then also with the long range, you also do get included as a part of the vehicle, or as part of the launch series, you do get the acceleration boosts included as well. And so that essentially covers everything to do with the Model Y. And so before we wrap things up, what I wanted to show you guys was a summary of all of this so that it's easy for you guys to process the information. So, as you guys know, I do a weekly news wrap, and this will be included as a part of that sometime soon. Either way, on the left-hand side, you can see the outgoing or the current model, and on the right-hand side, you can see the new model. I've made it very, very easy to see. You've got the price before on-road costs, the price drive away in New South Wales as a personal registration, the WLTP quoted range, and the 0 to 100. Obviously, with the Model Y performance, there is nothing that we have in this new model, because not here, not yet anyway, so we've left it blank. But for argument's sake, what I'd like you guys to focus your attention on, or where I'd like to focus your attention on, is essentially all the brackets on the right hand side, because that's essentially the differences between the outgoing current model versus the new model. So as an example, if we're looking over here at the price before ORC, which is on-road costs, you can see that the new one for the rear-wheel drive, this is the new launch series, is $7,500 more than the outgoing one, and $3,500 more for the long-range all-wheel drive compared to the current one. And so those driveway prices are there. Obviously, including those costs, it's a little bit more than that. So the new rear-wheel drive essentially costs just about almost $8,000 more than the current outgoing one, and then the long-range all-wheel drive is $3,675. You'll see that based on range, it hasn't increased that much. So remember, the car is definitely more efficient based on the new design. You do only get 11 kilometers more and 18 kilometers more respectively in those two variants. And potentially what that comes down to is because they've actually gone up to 20-inch wheels as opposed to the 19s, because 19s are definitely lighter, which is why I was thinking that why would they not have gone with something smaller and lighter so they could actually boost up the range or quoted range so that it's actually better for people. Either way, in New South Wales, you can go up to 2 inches up or down on your wheels. So if it's something that you guys want to change, you absolutely can change it within those ranges, and you should be definitely okay. And then you can also see that the 0 to 100 time, minus 1 second and minus 0.7 seconds, which means the new one is 1 second faster and minus 0.7 seconds faster. Just remember, it is a launch series, so potentially for the long range, when we do get the non-launch series, it's potentially slower. Potentially. And yeah, so what do you guys think? That's essentially all of the comparisons. Obviously, it's on the higher end of the bracket compared to all the competitors that are out there. It looks like a promising car. I can't wait to see it. If and when it does come into Australia, I'll make sure that we will get there as quick as we can to give you updates on this content. Now, I'm going to address the elephant in the room. Am I going to buy one? At this point in time, no. Never say never. It's obviously something I will be thinking about quite a lot over the next who knows how long. And yeah, I'd also like to ask you guys, have you ordered one already? And if you have, share your specs below, because all of the colors are now included, so it's actually a no-brainer being able to choose whichever one you want. Whereas in the previous generation, because we didn't have any launch series or foundation series or anything like that, the white color was free in Australia, and there are white ones everywhere. So guys, if you have ordered one, first of all, congratulations, and I'd love to hear from you to see what else you guys have, or what else you guys have ordered, I should say. And yeah, that essentially wraps up the Tesla Model Y order page, summary, comparison, whatever you guys want to call it. So hopefully this was informative. If it was, please help me, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe for more content. If you guys want to continue to support me or support the channel, feel free to join and be a YouTube member. Otherwise, hope you guys are well, take care, and we'll see you soon for more content.